Hey everyone, it's Monday, October 16th, 2017, and it's time to go to work on music. It's been a great day. I'm in a really good place and excited for a productive session. Um, Steadily resolving my timing issues, which I'm really happy about. It's a big relief, and I'll keep you guys updated on that as I go. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to hit some online classes here, update you guys with what I'm doing. Going to hit a quick guitar practice, share what I'm learning there, and then just dive into the production front, listen to some vocal takes that I did a couple days ago, and then depending on how my voice is feeling, either take a stab at tracking those, getting some final takes for those. Those were mostly just guide takes or scratch takes. Um, Getting some final takes, and then probably diving into the drum sounds. I've decided for the moment that with the guitar solo, I sort of am not 100% clear on whether it's good enough or not. Probably just gonna let that sit for a little longer. Start tracking the drums. That section is later in the song, so I've got some time to sort of think that over. And by the time I get there with the drums and I get the vocals tracked and all that stuff, if I'm still not feeling good and that's kind of the final big piece of the puzzle, then I'll just retrack it. But it's definitely really good right now. It's just I don't know if it sends the message that I want it to send, if that makes sense. And there's a difference. There's a difference between a really sensational take and then something that actually fits the song. And maybe that goes without saying, but I think I think it's important to think about that, because you could have a track that's all about this great solo, but like, what is the track really about? Is the track just there to convey a really great solo and say like, hey, look at me, I'm great? Maybe that's the message, and if it is, then you should do that. But if that's not what you're going for, then ironically, in some ways, sometimes that gets a little tougher. It's almost a tougher problem to solve, if that makes sense. Sometimes it might be easier. Maybe you need to tone the solo back. Fewer notes, less intense, less in your face, less sensational. Something to think about. So why don't we get right into it? I'll update you guys at the end with what I accomplish. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Let's do this. All right, excellent session there. So much as possible when just time is managed well and there's enough space in the day and the session to get into the zone and tick the boxes that I want to tick. It's yeah, interesting. But got it on the online class front and moved forward with some more specifics about Facebook marketing, and it's pretty exciting stuff. I'm really into it. I'm really excited to learn about my audience and what they're into, and just get to know this group of people who I'm hopefully going to serve very faithfully and very well for an extremely long time. And that's something that's just really rewarding to me as a person. I've found over the years I really enjoy providing value to other people, and that's like this really buzzwordy, catchphrasey thing these days, but maybe I can come up with a better way of saying that's a little deeper and just really articulates what I'm about. But that's kind of the excitement I'm feeling right now, is like, wow, I actually get to pick these individuals out of this mass of people in the world, in the galaxy, and just kind of go to their very personal, space, Facebook feed, and just say like, hey, check this out. I bet if you like these other things, that you'll dig what I'm doing, and just give it a listen and let me know what you think. And that's just so cool that that's possible now. I mean, it's pretty mind-blowing stuff, and it's just a beautiful thing. So I'm excited about that. And from there, I got into a quick guitar practice. I kept that pretty light, just did some review, speeding up this drop D riff on the metronome, just focusing on my rhythm and just control. Then from there, I took a break, did some reading of the recording secrets for the Small Studio book, and they're talking more about how a lot of producers and engineers miss the analog days because of the different mentality, the different mental game around analog recording, and the focus that it forced people, because you really had to give this great performance, because it was really difficult to edit out any mistakes. It had to be pretty much perfect, as whatever that word means to you, but it had to be that. Had to be great. And they were just talking about how these days, you can just edit a mistake out like it's nothing. I mean, in 5 seconds you can edit it out. So also the danger of just getting caught staring at the screen. They call it mixing with your eyes, or recording with your eyes instead of recording with your ears. It's definitely an interesting concept. Something to look out for. I mean, just the power that we have as independent musicians these days on the recording and production front is pretty immense, and with that power comes the responsibility to not abuse it and not get distracted just by all the tools and miss the point, which is just make something that sounds great and feels great. And really that's the main thing, is if it feels good, or if it feels something that people want to feel, it brings that emotion. That's pretty much what you're after. Like the sonics are less important than that. It's not that they're not important, they're just less, something that's sonically perfect but has no emotional or spiritual, for lack of a better word, I don't know, no deeper content. Most people aren't going to want to listen to that. Maybe some audiophiles will be like, oh my god, I can't believe the 2K on this, or wow, that 10K is just clearer than I've ever heard before, And most people aren't going to say that. Just something to think about. And by the way, I'm just reminding myself of this stuff as I'm talking to you about it. I'm not like trying to preach this or anything, or be on the soapbox. But this is sort of the value I get out of sharing this information is by articulating it and recalling it from memory. It's forcing it to be more deeply ingrained in my own mind. This is a big reason that I do this. They say by teaching you'll learn, and I've found that to be mostly quite true. So I moved from there. This is just a great reminder. I moved from there to the production front, listened back to the vocals, and yeah, there was some pretty obvious mistakes. I was sort of just rehearsing those scratch takes before, just trying to get a feel for where I wanted to go with this part in the bridge section of this song. And yeah, got a good idea where I wanted to go, tried some different things out. Things weren't clicking, and I sort of just altered my approach, and then just got in there and did maybe like 2 or 3 takes where I was really going for it, and the last one I think I pretty much nailed it. So that's nice, and at least enough to come back tomorrow and listen back and assess, is that the direction I want to go. But felt great, sounded the way I wanted it to sound, had the delivery and nuance that I wanted. And yeah, so that's the session. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys are out there grinding towards your goals, enjoying the process. That's what I'm out here doing, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more. Till then.